In today's video, we're going to go over the state of early access update number 1. And this is going to be the patch note of 0.7.5 from Crate Entertainment on Farthest Frontiers. So it looks like they are doing a really good job of actually listening to the community. Now, I've heard a lot of good things from the people in the Discord. And it looks like a lot of the concerns that people have had and the issues that they had are actually going to be addressed. So first of all, they're almost done with the update, where they have balance changes, bug fixes, and maybe some new features coming. So I know there's been a lot of issues on game performance. They have addressed that, the specific hitching performance issues. Pretty much anything around cows right now is in a pretty poor state, but it looks like they're listening, and we're going to get that fixed as soon as they have it. Then we have some changes to the trading post coming up. So they're going to have an actual notification when the traders show up, which is probably one of the most needed things when it comes to trading, besides the storage issues, which they actually address later on in the article. But sometimes you don't even notice when your trader's there unless you're looking at the trader building. So, and the fact that they only are there for the early part of the spring, it's very easy to miss, especially if you're looking for the specific resources like the heavy tools, and you just need, that's your main source of gold income, is selling your luxury goods on the trade market. Now, you're not going to miss that. It looks like they actually are going to put the permanent icon in the top left like they do when you're low on resources, as well as the pop-up notification being there. And then it looks like they've addressed an issue that fires on trade huts weren't actually being put out, and that causes a lot of issues. Then it looks like this is the introduction of the new map. So now we're going to have 5 different maps to choose from. They're adding one called the Idyllic Valley that's full of resources, and this is actually going to be the new default map when you're just hitting new settlement. So the game is difficult. It's meant to be difficult, but not everybody likes to play a difficult game. So this is going to address that, and hopefully you don't have to hunt around as much on your first starting location, based off of where all the resources are, because they're going to be plentiful. Let's see here. Rock. Okay, so they're adding the Mega Rock, which this is going to help out the sustainability when you start building your larger settlements, because there's no way to get rock right now in a mining resource. It's always going to be collected off of the ground, and that's finite. Or you buy it from the traders. Well, it looks like they're going to add a quarry for deep mines so that this resource is no longer finite. I think this is probably the best thing I'm excited about, because you have forests that are pretty much infinite. They regrow. It takes a while, but they're also changing that where it's not going to take so long to regrow your forest. And they might even actually be adding a lumber yard, a forestry, to help with this. I know we have the work camp for I need resources now, but they're adding a forestry for a future update. So the quarries, the deep mines, and the forestry, that's all a future update. That's not going to be the 0.7.5. And let's see, spiritual buildings as well. They're talking about wanting to add spiritual buildings to the game, not as a check, but as something that, let's see, an actual mechanic of the game, because it is a resource management game. They're wanting to add something that's actually going to be meaningful, and it looks like they're going to be pretty in-depth with it, with maybe you being able to pick a different god or something like that and request favors. So when I think of that, I think of games that do, like Civilization, actually. You have the gods of the harvest, the different pantheons that do different things and have different bonuses, but you also unlock different buildings depending on that. So I hope that's the direction they go with this, and it's not just a check, much like barracks are for raiders and stuff like that. It's just a check, whether or not you develop that or not. Let's see. We also have some production and storage management things that are coming up. They're going to add quotas. They're going to add production limits. And then it looks like we're actually going to be able to manage our resources in between storages. I said this goes back to them fixing things on the trader, because right now you can put all your resources into a trader and then it's not going to spoil in there, and it's infinite. That needs to be addressed because everything else has a weight or a storage space. And then a lot of players are going to be happy about this. They're going to make it where you can move a graveyard. And that's the number one thing I see with new people starting out on this game, is that they build the graveyard very early on, and then they have to completely change their plan on their development of their city around that graveyard because they made a poor decision, or not a poor decision, an uninformed decision of where and how much they were actually going to need to expand on the buildings in the depth of a city builder. So this is one of my first city builders. It's not my first, but one of my first. I've only played a couple of other ones. And my graveyard's still not in an ideal place. And it's not going to be until you've played this game for hours and hours, and you've had multiple playthroughs, and you restarted the game multiple times. So I'm really excited for them to be listening to the community. And that's important. And it looks like they're owning up to their oversights or their mistakes. I mean, the game is in early access, but they're not saying, hey, I'm not perfect. And I think that's wonderful from a developer. And then it looks like, there's a lot of issues with the barns and cows. Milk production, it's off by default. I didn't even realize that until yesterday when I was playing on a test world. So I was like, wow, it says disable milking, and I clicked that, and then they started milking, and it still says disable milking. So hopefully they change a lot of things about how the barns and the cows and the meat production for your economy works, instead of you having to rely so much on hunting for just meat. Then it looks like they're adding some new decorations, which I really enjoy that, actually. Hopefully it's probably going to cost gold, but the more of the options, the better. I feel like the building menu is pretty thin when it comes to decorations, and actually just the different types of buildings. So maybe eventually you'll even be able to change styles, and you'll be able to have different sections of the town look different instead of just a different building being there, because you're obviously building it in residential districts and then production districts and something like that. And then, oh wow, I like this. So they actually put in a town showcase of some people that have been playing. So there's Little Nod, Steamy Noodles, and this is from the community. So the different towns that they built, and this looks incredible, actually. So I'm not this far advanced, but that looks great. And then this is a town on a little hill, actually it's an island town. Oh, wow. And then this is a tiered building. So overall, I'm really excited about this. Let me see if they have a date for when this is going out. I don't think so. Soon. Okay, in the coming days. Okay, so since they put this out today, I would say maybe within 2 weeks. We've already had a couple of patch updates for some major issues that they had on launch. So, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited, and maybe they even throw in a few things that's not mentioned in the post. It could always be interesting. I'm going to make a really short video. I appreciate your time today. It's a different type of content from me. I think I'm going to try to do these on all of their state of early access, all of their developer discussions. So if you want to see more, let me know.